Hello everyone and welcome back to Poetry Surprises. Going Under. Through a colliery earth door I worm my way, a pained stretch of finger pawl and toe claw, sucked by cold clay margins down to where love is denied. Now is one blind line, dangling rope without anchor, no turn to embrace what's behind, only knowing stone vibrations of the heartbeat's volcano. I'm as afraid as my father of the Gorgon earth, her grin, but too late, fate's taken over, into the geode so tight, hysteria is petrified. You see, for this episode, I've come dressed in red to go down into the bowels of the earth, and it's always a subject that's fascinated me. I remember when I was a kid, the Journey to the Centre of the Earth. I really enjoyed that film, the sort of sense of adventure. And then when later on, I remember Orphée by Jean Cocteau, the film. Yeah, a bit arty, but actually a masterpiece. And but this idea, I keep on returning to it again and again. This idea of going down and sinking into the bowels of the earth. And obviously, it's not just me. I might be a bit mad, but it's not just me, because, every hero of the ancient world goes down, as we know. Homer, Odysseus goes down, Aeneas goes down, Dante then follows suit and copies and goes down. And that poem there was about going down. I've done a lot of work in relation to this, and here now is a short film I made on an installation I did in the Galloway Forest Park, and it's got a commentary, so I'll say no more. I'll just let that play, and then I'll be back with you. I created 13 Chthonic Verses because I've always been fascinated by journeys into the underworld. And the landscape in Galloway, with granite escarpments and huge boulders, feels as if it is the work of mythical giants tearing up the earth, chthon in Greek, in some enormous temper. The words are doorways down into the bowels of the earth, the beginning of a journey, such as the journey undertaken by the poet Orpheus to recover Eurydice. What will we find there? Love, redemption, death. Well, that installation, which is in 1997, as it says in the film, was great fun to do, because, you're sort of climbing up over these boulders with stencil and paint and putting them in places that seemed quite inaccessible, and you had to find sort of routes up to get to them. But it was it's a bit like, it was like open sesame, the magic words. You say the right words and the doors open, and the idea was that you would go down into the bowels of the earth through these openings in the great granite boulders of the Galloway Forest Park. I'd like to finish my short piece on the fascination with the underworld with a poem called Thunderclap, and it's the first poem in a sequence of 44 poems that makes up an 11-mile walking route of poetry, and that is called Stride. Stride sets off from the Lee Valley in London and goes right the way through urban sprawl and markets and areas of decay and over motorways, and goes up onto the ridge that is Epping Forest on the edge of London, from where you can see the whole of London spread before you. Obviously, there's a sense of adventure about this walk. And so I wanted to allude to medieval poetry, the sense of the quest. So I read it in an alliterative style. Alliterative meaning, using sounds, similar sounds within the line to create a sense of unity. But it's the beginning of a long journey, and it's another adventure into the underworld. Thunderclap. This morning, from the blue on blue azure over summer sun-filled hills and fields, I saw a blinding bolt blast a tree. I clapped my hands upon my ears in fear of thunder's crash. But silence reigned. I strode to where the fire rod seemed to strike and found a hole that opened into rock, still smoking from the smite with smashed up roots. I slowly trod 12 dark slippery steps that led down into a cavern lit by storm clouds flickering in its vaults. Across wide walls, eerie footage flashed, like stroboscopic mashed up cine reels, mixed up movies for my gulping eyes of streets, faces, places confused by time, a bird in flame, towpath, fallen snow, a train, assassin, gargoyle and a shoe. As rain and wind washed over me, I cowed and called upon my father guide. Now, those images at the end there, flashing up on the walls, are the images inside my head. Obviously, they're the memories of what I'm about to encounter on my journey through the streets of London up into Epping Forest. And my father guide, I meet him a couple of poems down the line, and he, of course, was a local to that area. So he used to walk those streets. So you can see it's got all these sort of mythical stuff tying in with it, but it was a great fun installation project as well, to put these 44 poems, QR codes, so you could listen to the poetry as you walked around this journey. Anyway, that's my journey into the underworld for today. I promise we will go somewhere warmer and sweeter as soon as possible. But in the meantime, have a good rest of your day and tomorrow. And I'll be back in a couple of days' time. Subscribe to Poetry Surprises, please. It's down there. Yeah, get on it. Subscribe. Good. Right. See you soon. Bye.